Good morning, day one of the wheelchair project. Here we go. Well, let's see about some breakfast. See if I can reach the granola. Okay, maybe not. What about oranges? There we go. Okay, so let's try for that granola again. Now I have a bar stool here that I'm going to transfer myself to and see if it works. Now, let's get a bowl. All right, got two pieces of the puzzle. Now I can get some milk. The spoons are right here in this drawer. Super convenient. Okay, so last night we realized that the bathroom is too narrow for me to get in, so you can kind of see. So we figured out a different way that I can get in, and it's pretty entertaining. Okay, so I have to transfer myself between these chairs, and then once I get here I can access the sink and I can access these drawers, brush my hair if I wanted to, put on chapstick. But if I actually want to get all the way over to the toilet over here, which you can't see, I have to keep on moving these chairs. Transferring myself between them. Sometimes if they're not the right angle, I have to go back and forth and adjust them a little bit at a time. And then eventually I can make it all the way over here. And then to get back, it's reverse. Okay, so now I'm attempting to do laundry. So I got my laundry basket from my room. And I can pretty easily access the washer and dryer. guess once I get everything in there, I can close the door. And I did already put soap in, but I can grab it, pour it in there. Good to go. Can reach all the buttons. Okay, so now that I'm ready for the day, it's time to do some homework. So I'm gonna grab that neuro book and my Surface and planner, notebooks, and pencils, and head out to living room. Would you look at that? The window's the perfect height for me to set stuff on, and I can watch it rain and wash the snow away. Alright, so now it's lunchtime. So I cooked my pizza in the microwave, and I made sure to turn the turntable off, so that way I can actually reach it when it's done. Maybe. There we go. Well, it's been a long day, getting around in a wheelchair, making food, doing laundry, homework. I even went to youth group tonight, and that was interesting, but it was all good. So I'm kind of tired, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Day 2, here we go. Okay, so I didn't show this to you guys yesterday, but after eating breakfast, I've got to wash my dishes and throw away my trash, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so I wanted to see if I could do one of my hobbies, which is to play the piano. So let's see if I can do it.
Drive
right
through,
here.
or you go over here, right by the handicap spot.
Well, I completed my wheelchair project and it was very challenging and I learned a lot. I think one of the most challenging things was using the bathroom. As you saw, it was pretty complicated and it probably took me about 5 minutes just to get in and out of the bathroom. So I really had to plan ahead for that. And I think one of the other challenging things was fighting muscle contractions that would automatically happen in my legs, because there were times when my legs would just try to be used when I wasn't trying to use them, if that makes sense. And so I really tried not to use my legs, but it was hard. And also, by the middle of the second day, my lower legs and feet were actually becoming numb, so I had to do ankle pumps to prevent blood clots and edema. So that was hard too. And I also learned a lot. I learned that it takes way longer to do anything the first time in a wheelchair, so you have to plan ahead for that. And you get a lower perspective on everything. For some reason in our world, everything is up high and you're down low when you're in a wheelchair, so you're kind of looking up at everything, which was definitely different. And a lot of things seemed out of reach, but also I was surprised at how much I was able to do by the end of it, and how much I was able to access and master the skills of. And by the end of it, I had a pretty good feel for the wheelchair and could make really tight turns. I was able to open and close doors pretty easily, compared to the first time in lab when we tried it, and it was really hard. So I think this teaches me as a therapist for when I'm training people who will be using wheelchairs, that I can teach them how to transfer themselves and how to pop wheelies so they can go up and down curves. And also I will know better how to inspect their home and make sure it is wheelchair accessible, because I know all the places to look and all the things that I had difficulties with that I want to make easier for them. And as far as self-image goes, I was actually pretty worried about what people would think about me, and I would think about it for a while before I went out into the community, which I think affected my attitude about it. But once I was actually out in the community, people were super nice about it. And when we went to Panera for dinner, I think you can see in the video that someone actually opened the door for me, which was super nice. And I also went to youth group during the wheelchair project, and my friends were there and a lot of them made fun of me, but they make fun of me anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. I wasn't too worried about it. But one of my friends is actually nice enough to help me get my wheelchair in and out of my car for me, and offered to open the doors, but I wanted to make sure that I could open the doors myself, so hopefully it didn't feel too bad, but yeah. And overall, I felt pretty safe in my home and it was relatively accessible. There were definitely things that were difficult, that could be changed for ease of access, but overall, if I had to, I could live here in a wheelchair. and I could get out in an emergency. And one of the main problems was just not having a ramp to enter the house, which would make things a lot easier. And the step did seem kind of high. I think it was 6 inches tall. So that made it more difficult. And also the snow this week, snow and ice, just made it really difficult. My wheels were spinning out, and that would definitely make it hard for a wheelchair bound person. And as far as transferring to a car goes, I would recommend a lower car, but also one that's a little bit bigger that you can fit a wheelchair in, especially if you're going to be driving in a wheelchair. I would recommend one that you can actually fit the wheelchair across you into your passenger seat, if you're going to be driving without it. But if you're going to be driving with it, I would recommend a van. That would be so much easier to get in and out of, rather than the truck that you saw. And I also transferred in and out of my little Honda Civic, and that was pretty hard. I had to fight with the wheelchair to get it in and out of my car. And I think that the patient should be either at a min or mod assist level to be able to transfer to a car independently, or even with minimal help of the caregiver. So in conclusion, overall, for those who are bound in a wheelchair every day, I have lots of respect for them. I did have some before, but now it's grown my appreciation for them, because they have to have really good upper body strength, and they have to navigate our world that isn't really designed for them. But also it's opened my eyes, and I really want to be an advocate for people who are in wheelchairs now, because I know how difficult it is for them, and I really want to help make life easier for them and help them to enjoy life like we can. And yeah, I've just grown in my empathy for them, and I think overall this project was great, and I would recommend that everyone do it if they can.